Llanthony Priory is a partly ruined former Augustinian priory in the secluded Vale of Ewyas, a steep-sided once glaciated valley within the Black Mountains area of the Brecon Beacons National Park in Monmouthshire, southeast Wales. It lies 7 miles north of Abergavenny on an old road to Hay-on-Wye at Llanthony. The priory ruins lie to the west of the prominent Hatterall Ridge, a limb of the Black Mountains. The main ruins are under the care of Cadw and entrance is free. The priory is a Grade I listed building as of the 1st of September 1956. Within the precincts of the priory are 2 other buildings with Grade I listed status: the Abbey Hotel, listed on the 1st of September 1956, and St. David's Church, listed on the same date. History. Foundation. The priory dates back to around the year 1100, when Norman nobleman Walter de Lacy reputedly came upon a ruined chapel of St. David in this location, and was inspired to devote himself to solitary prayer and study. He was joined by Asinius, a former chaplain to Queen Matilda, the wife of King Henry I, and then a band of followers. A church was built on the site, dedicated to St. John the Baptist, and consecrated in 1108. By 1118, a group of around 40 monks from England founded there a priory of canons regular, the first in Wales. In 1135, after persistent attacks from the local Welsh population, the monks retreated to Gloucester, where they founded a daughter cell, Llanthony Secunda. However, around 1186, another member of the de Lacy family, Hugh, the 5th Baron, endowed the estate with funds from his Irish estates to rebuild the priory church, and this work was completed by 1217. There are also letters from Pope Clement III between 1185 and 1188, confirming further grants and gifts to the priory from Adam de Filippo and Geoffrey de Cusack in Ireland. The priory became one of the great medieval buildings in Wales, in a mixture of Norman and Gothic architectural styles. Renewed building took place around 1325, with a new gatehouse. On Palm Sunday, April 4, 1327, the deposed Edward II stayed at the priory on his way from Kenilworth Castle to Berkeley Castle, where he is alleged to have been murdered. Dissolution. Following Augustinian's rebellion in the early 15th century, the priory seems to have been barely functioning. In 1481 it was formally merged with its daughter cell in Gloucester, and after 1538 both houses were suppressed by Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries. The 18th and 19th centuries, the buildings at Llanthony gradually decayed after the dissolution to a ruin, although in the early 18th century the medieval infirmary was converted to the Church of St. David. In 1799 the estate was bought by Colonel Sir Mark Wood, the owner of Piercefield House near Shepstow, who converted some of the buildings into a domestic house and shooting box. He then sold the estate in 1807 to the poet Walter Savage Landor. Landor needed an active parliament, passed in 1809, to be allowed to pull down some of Wood's buildings and construct a house, which was never finished. He wanted to become a model country gentleman, planting trees, importing sheep from Spain, and improving the roads. There is still an avenue of trees in the area known as Land or Larches, and many old chestnuts have been dated back to his time. Landor described the idylls of country life, including the nightingales and glowworms in the valley, to his friend Robert Southey. However, the idyll was not to last long, as for the next 3 years Landor was worried by the combined vexation of neighbours and tenants, lawyers and Lords Lieutenant, and even the Bishop of St. David's. Many of his troubles stemmed from petty squabbles, arising from his headstrong and impetuous nature. He wasted money trying to improve the land and the condition of the poorer inhabitants. The final straw was when he let his farmland to one Charles Betham, whom Lander viewed as incompetent and extravagant and who paid no rent. After an expensive action to recover the debts from Betham, Lander had had enough and decided to leave the country, abandoning Llanthony to his creditors, principally his mother. The estate was administered in his absence by his mother and cousin, but many of the buildings continued to disintegrate thereafter. Later history. The ruins have attracted artists over the years, including J.M.W. Turner, who painted them from the opposite hillside. The priory was acquired by the Knight family in the 20th century. Wood's house later became the Abbey Hotel. The remaining ruins are protected by Cadw. An entrance to the ruins is free. Footpaths. The Offers Dyke Path runs close by on the Hatterall Ridge above the Llanthony Valley, and marks the Wales-England border here. There are numerous footpaths which run from the large car park at the Priory up to the Hatterall Ridge, and circular walks to the ridge and back are possible. Burials. Anne of Gloucester, Mahelda Hereford, Henry Fitzmiles, Henry de Bohun, and L.T. Royal Ancestry and G.T. and L.T. Richardson and G.T.